Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxchair, on the show this evening is the one and only AK, and a legend that is Albert. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening guys, how are you to?
Evening, Ox, evening, Albert, evening to Rangers Radio listeners.
Good evening, everybody. You especially used to. We're on to talk about the Rangers. Unfortunately, we're on to talk about the Rangers.
How are you, Albert?
Apart from the Rangers, I'm absolutely spot on. Spot on, mate. Wish my team would just start playing better.
How are you, AK?
Aye. I've been better, but this weather's kind of. I don't know whether it's cheering us up, but it's certainly heating us up. No used to it, but aye. I'm sure the Rangers will drown us in depression.
I've been having a think about it the days that they've been on. I think the supporting a wee bit of shock, if that makes sense, AK. You know, we're expecting better. We knew that European games at any level can be tricky. We get on that. You know, we understood Panathinaikos was going to be a difficult challenge. We got through, fortunately get through. We're playing a team that I think we were favourites against, no strong favourites, but favourites against. Everybody thought the tie was done. Sandwiched between that, it was two appalling domestic performances. And then last night, I think people are in shock. I think they just seen regression, lack of confidence. You can call it whatever you want, but I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. AK, is at this particular moment in time. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I don't see it at this moment.
So what you're saying is you're looking on the bright side then?
Always, mate, always.
Listen, is it a perfect start to the tenure, Russell Martin tenure? No. Have we played well? No. I've been fortunate to get through a couple of past a couple of teams there. Aye, definitely. Has it been a great start to the season domestically? No. Do we like the way we're playing? No. There's a lot of negativity in there for good reason. Last night's performance, you know what I'm like, mate. I defend a lot of the managers and I see the kind of big picture, or I try to see it. But that last night's performance, there's indefensible with that. So something has to change, you know, whether it's Russell Martin's philosophy, the players to take it on board. Things need to improve and we need to see signs of improvement. And that's where a lot of the anger and negativity and criticism is coming from. The new owners are in there though. I mean, Albert spoke about it last year. Be careful for what you wish for. They've come in, they're calling the shots. The Rangers support asked for that. They've asked for plenty of change with managers and players. So this is where we are. And now things are what we've got. So it's up to people to change their attitudes, whether you've been a player, a supporter, or whoever. But we need to get better collectively. Unity is the only way forward.
Albert, what's your take on it, mate?
And one word, confusion, mate. It's definitely in there, up there, right at the front of my mind, because I'm trying to work out what everybody else is trying to work out, what we're trying to do, and game to game. And all the only conclusion I can come up with is it's the same faults with the same players from last year across the park on an individual basis, mate. That's what I see. I don't know what you see, but that's what I see. I see Suter making the same mistakes he made last year. I see Tab making the same mistakes he made last year. Same with Efty, same with Raskin, same with Diamande. The whole lot of them, man. You can go through all the players for last year and it's the same mistakes and we keep picking them and putting them in, and we're all expecting something different. Now, we'll get to later on, I suppose, to talk about Martin's tactics, which Nanny is like. Nanny's understand it, Nanny's like it. But you've got to start with the basics. You've got to start with the components of the team and say, look, what are they up to? What are these players up to? We can surmise all day long about whose attitude's no here, or whose head's no here, or fell out with the manager, whatever. You could do that all day, mate, guess it all day. But the fact of the matter is, you can critique what you see, and what we see is players that can't pass the ball. What did we see last year? Players that can't pass the ball. It's crazy, mate, and it's the same players with the same mistakes. So if you don't sort that one wee issue out first, we're never going to take a step forward. And I keep saying it. We've got to draw a line out of last year's team, and we've not done it yet. We're still playing a lot of these players, and the line's got to be drawn, mate. The ones that are coming in have got to get a chance to see if they are better than them. But I'm hearing some people going, we've not moved an inch forward. These players that we've bought are not any better than the players we had. We don't know yet, because we've no scrapped last year's team. We're still playing the majority of last year's team. And it has to stop, mate. He has to bite the bullet and say, I've got to take control. I've got to take the bull by the horns here and say, right, this is my team. This is my system. This is what we're going to be doing. At the moment, it's a mishmash. Oh, some of them, some of this, some of their style, some of this, some of that. It's crazy, mate. It's just crazy. It's never going to work like this. So, go to be brave. He's talking about us. He's talking about the team going to be brave. He's going to be brave. He's going to say, I'm doing this and it's going to be done my way, and I'll stand with my decisions. But he's not going to do it with the two players last year, because we all know all he needs to do is get a poll of the support and just say what you think of the players last year. And we'll tell you, because we've sat and watched these players, some of them for more than 2 or 3 years, and we'll tell you exactly what the faults of these players. And this season, in these 6 games, the players for last year are doing the exact same as they've done last year. And here we go again. It's going to change, mate. You've got to pick a new team. And he's got the players to do it. He's got 11 players to do it, put it that way, maybe 12. And the rest of them that are not in the team feel like they're just...
I feel a list coming on, AK. I feel a list coming on.
I've got a team, mate. I've not got a list, I've got a team.
All right.
I think you're right, Ox.
I've got a team I think he should be playing, mate. This is what I'm saying. So...
Right.
Fox says to us come up with solutions. Here's a solution. Here's part of my solution. Who can come up with a solution as well? But part of my solution is pick his players. The ones he's bringing in, and he's like, no, he can't get. I know some of them he can't. 1 or 2 can't get one. Mendy, for example, is not even in the club yet. So bear with him, you know what I mean? But the team should be Butland.
You're playing him in goal.
I would play him in goal, but the big man's playing well. I've got to give him credit. He can't play any worse than he played last season, put it this way, but he had an exceptional game last night, mate. Exceptional. I'll give him that. But he's a 2-part goalkeeper. He's good at when he's on his game at shortstop. He's good at it.
Let's hear this team stroke list before we move on to last night. I want to hear it. I'm intrigued, AK.
Hey, here we go.
By the way, I'll just say this: if Aarons is in it, he needs looked at seriously. Albert, he needs medication. Right, carry on, Albert.
Right, hold on. I better get the medication because he's in it. Right, Butland, Aarons, De Jigger, Fernandes, Mendy when he comes in, Raskin, Rodwell, Asgard, Antiman, Igaman, and Gassama. That's the team he should be playing, mate.
Shape.
That's his team.
Give us a shape.
Oh, I don't care about his shape, mate. He does what he wants. He's got his own mental philosophy on that. It doesn't really matter. But he's got to put these players in and play the shape he wants to play. I don't particularly like it. I've not met many Rangers supporters that do like it. It is boring beyond belief. But unless you, first of all, first things first, we need to scrap last year's team. It's got to be done, mate, because a lot of people are saying bring him back, bring this back, but he's played. Did we all forget what last year? Did we all forget how bad that season was? You've got to keep that in your memory and keep fresh in your memory to say we cannot put up with that again. But if we don't do something like radical, what I'm talking about, you're going to do it again. And I'm for one, I'm not sitting in these stands watching that all over again, mate, because that's brutal.
Stats better. It has been brutal. I think last night we were 2 shots against 10 shots on target, AK, yeah. You know, and
correct.
if we're honest, mate, could have got put out, mate. They had some real good chances, real good opportunities. And that doesn't tell you about the ones that went across the box and nobody got a toe on, mate.
I know. You're a good stats man, Ox. So I like to look at my stats. I had a wee look at the stats here before we come on, so bear with me. But some of these are alarming. Right, XG for them was 3.3.
You better explain that to old bird, mate. He's going to go nuts. You'll fry
Expected goals, basically. So 3.3 for them, 1.15 for us. Possession, we won that 59% to 41, but that's because we're passing it amongst ourselves again. Shots, as we've listened last night, 27 shots at goal they had compared to 9 ours, 10 on target, big chances, 8 to 1. Corners, we're even losing that now. We used to be good in corners, 6-3 for them. Listen to this one though, 21 shots inside our box last night, and Butland did 8 saves to make, and some of them fantastic saves.
And listen, mate, we're getting up the wings, we're letting the teams get right in tappies. There's a lot of things happening that are negative. We're going to go through last night's game and have a chat about it. Get your 2 thoughts. I said by Topsworth last night. It's up to you too. I'll chip in, but you get it off your chest. I'm a lie doing that black couch all, but this could be quite helpful for you, mate. Yeah. And,
I'm already in the therapy position, mate. I'm ready. Bring it on.
He's biting a pillar.
Again?
Right, so let's get the phone lines open because it'd be good to hear what other people are thinking. I'd love to hear if anybody that says there is light at the end of the tunnel. Look, that could change in the next couple of weeks. I get that, and I hope it does. But we're only critiquing the performances, and somebody sent me something later on last night. Middlesbrough, who came in, let's be honest, gave us a wee bit of doing. We know this team would do it the first off. We get all that. They get beat 4-0 with Doncaster last night. I don't think they had their first team out, but then that puts it into perspective, right? What happens in pre-season and what can happen.
Is Doncaster in the Champions League?
No.
I don't think they are. Thank God.
No, just as well for us, mate. Maybe Club Brugge. Anyway, so we'll get the phone lines open. I'll come back to you about last night's performance, get your take on it. Hopefully we get some people in. And I'd love to hear from anybody who sees some light at the end of the tunnel. So let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, the game last night, just a quick take, then you can jump in. Look, the first few minutes there wasn't a lot happened, and slowly they get a foothold in it. McGee the wings away and teams get to put crosses in. We had opportunities to make chances, and I think we could have had a penalty. If I'm honest, I think Dessers got pushed in the back. Maybe on the soft side, but it was a foul. It had been a foul anywhere in the park, and it was a penalty kick. But the way Dessers gets done sometimes, I don't think it helps him. And Mulberg can come to that when he's talking about the game. I'm sure he will. And then slowly, we fell out the game, and you thought, oh, we're just going to get to half time, and then we get a crazy goal away. Again, we're very, very narrow. The ball goes out to Jeffy. Horrendous defending. Horrendous. It gets worse any time you look at it. Boy goes down, cuts it back, boy puts it in the net. We then has a couple of minutes. You think, oh, here, we can't afford to lose another one. We didn't. We went at half time. We thinking, oh, we'll start better in the second half. No, we didn't. We started worse in the second half. We were all over the place. And slow. It took us about 10 minutes, and we could have lost more goals. Then we got a foothold in the game, and slowly we done all right without being spectacular. I think the hot night, they were putting a lot of energy in, and it maybe take a wee bit of the momentum. And then we gets the goal. And congratulations to young Lyle Cameron. He seems a decent lad, and good on him scoring that goal. His first goal for Rangers, and he's done okay. without being spectacular. One each, you're thinking, oh, this could die a death. No, we proceed to concede another goal. Guy gets a free header, but 5 yards for the goal, mate, left. Everybody gets it wrong. I think he's Rothwell's man. And he just puts in a goal 2-1. You're thinking, oh, here we go. This could get worse. Thankfully, we've seen the game out without only a couple of scary moments, but we made it hard work. And we were awful. Absolutely awful. And we could have maybe lived with it. Could have got the domestic forum right, but we've no. So then it's under the microscope. Bigger. That's the way I see it. Right, toss a coin. Ake.
You pretty much sum up the game well there. For the Rangers supporters' point of view, it wasn't a good watch at all. And a night that should have been comfortable. You're going into a second leg 3-0 up. We seemed to invite pressure onto us and rather play with confidence. I thought we looked nervous. I thought we looked as if we still weren't sure about what we were doing and where we were positioning ourselves. We were getting the ball away far too cheaply and mainly in our own half. So we're inviting them onto us all the time. And I think that's where these stats of shots at goal comes from, because when you're getting the ball away, say 30 yards, within 40 yards of the goal, the guys are going to get a shot away at your goal. And if they've got any sort of potent threat in their forward line, they're scoring more than what they have scored. And the same as the Panathinaikos. And you go back to the Motherwell game domestically as well. They could have scored earlier than what they did as well, and Dundee. So that there is an apparent trend there that isn't good. It doesn't make good readings. We seem to be dominating possession, but we're not going anywhere with it. We're not breaking the lines. We're not moving it quickly enough. We're not going forward quickly enough. And just people they actually look scared to make mistakes. I don't know whether it's they're looking at the manager or whether they're looking at support, but they're certainly nerves is kicked onto the park, and it's just no good. It's not a good combination. So people need to take more responsibility for the roles that they've got in their team, and they need to grab a game in the scruff of the neck. But how long have we been saying that as well, Ox? We don't have many leaders in the team. We don't have many winners in the team. We don't have a hell of a lot of experience in the team. Experience of failure, but no winners. And we need a clear out. That dressing room, Albert touched on it, for any manager to have any chance, and this is going back for Gerrard 5 years ago. Gio needed a red out, didn't get it. Bale, he should never have got the job, but he read out the team that got to a European final and replaced them with rubbish. Clement didn't get the backing, the finances, replaced them with rubbish. Fergie was just a stopgap, and now we're back to square one again with Russell Martin and the supporter calling for his head after 4 to 6 weeks in the position. There are no signs that we're getting any better, but for me, that dressing room needs read out completely. And Audie Olgard, they're the first on the list. So any chance of success for any new manager, whether it be Russell Martin or the next manager, you need to be getting ready your leadership group. Stuff the leadership group. Makes one person your captain. They've been calling the shots in how we're playing and who's playing for far too long. And we're hearing different stories about we're asking chatting managers. I don't have an issue with that, but keep that in-house. But he's worried about his own position. If there's a conflict there, that's not good for the team either. So we need to issue this year.
But that's another story. Players,
exactly, I agree.
Players should be able to go and speak to the manager and put their case forward. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I have a problem with coming out if it's true. But thanks for that, AK. I mean, look, there's not a lot of players there have got long careers. There's only one guy who's been there for any length of time now. That's Tav. The rest of them, Suter's done his time. First year pretty much injured. He's had a couple of seasons. His contract's nearly up. Yefty and Yilmaz, they could go. Then you go into midfield, you've got Raskin, who's only been there, what's that? Nearly 2 years, Albert. Diamandi. Desser's only 2 years. There's only Tav. It's the constant for all the managers, mate. you know, and I didn't think Tav was great last night. Still better than Aaron's, but it's just my view and everybody else's view. But Albert, how did you see it last night?
How did I say? I just signed off on your report there, mate. That's how I seen it. It's one of these situations that I've been listening last night, and listening to Alec there and yourself. There's nothing else you can say about it. There's a time to say, well, okay, we're all seeing the same thing. That it fails the eye test, but as I said, same players. They don't have to be there a long time, mate. But see every player that played last year. As far as I'm concerned, there's a line right through them. There's some that we can't get rid of everybody, we know that. And some of the ones we want to get rid of, we can't get rid of them at the moment. Davis, Cifuentes, and all that, we all know them. But see, like I said, the ones 7 that played last night, I'd put a line right through the whole lot of them, mate. Raskin and Igaman are the only 2 that would actually get into the team. And I'd only have them in the team until we sign better players. But see all the rest, they're just backup players now. They're squad players. They sit in the bench, they come on when he needs them. But he's always on the back of his mind that this year, this window and the next 2 windows to get rid of all them as well. That's the way I'd be running it. I mean, you got to draw a line. If you're either building a team or you're not building a team. And this, I swear, this half-hearted attempt to build a team, it's never going to work, mate. You've got to bite the bullet. You've got to put, you don't like Arns. I know that, you don't like Arns. I don't like Tav. I don't think Tav can defend. I think he's done. Right, so you've got to put Arns in whether you like it or not.
I do think Tav's done, mate. I'm not saying that he's the answer, mate.
Right, so you've got to draw the line under him anyway. Right, he's a loser for last year. Last year was probably one of the worst seasons you've seen in the Premiership, in the top division. I'm not saying that you've seen some rubbish in the lower divisions coming through it, but on the top division, that's going to be one of the worst years what we've ever witnessed with it. That was bad. That was bad beyond belief. And we can't ignore it. You can't just stick your head in the sand now and say, well, we're not going to try anybody else. We're just going to keep our body like Suter and people like that. They're mince, mate. They've not got the mentality to win games, win leagues, win cups. They've not got it. Oh, they do well in Europe. They do well in Europe because they're the underdogs, and they do really well, don't they? They're playing above themselves. That's no Rangers. You've got to get into games and think you're going to win them, and go into games with a swagger and say, look, we're going to win this game. We think we're good enough to do it and go and prove it. But no, this mob for last year, no for me, mate. They've crapped in the nest. They need to go. I know they can't go there now, but you don't have to play them. You've got enough players now to make a brand new team. Bar Igaman and Raskin. And Raskin doesn't sign that contract. He needs to go, mate. And we need to sign
I get that for the economics, mate, because you get to this time next year, mate, you've got that whole conversation where you can sign for somebody in a few weeks. I get that. That's one of the reasons I would have sold the biggest reason, apart from I'm not his biggest fan, is Dessers. I would have sold Dessers. He's got 2 years left of his contract, and he's going to get older. He stops as far as economics is going to fall. It's near the end of his contract, and that's where you've got to be ruthless and keep churning over and moving on and make that big decision. But that's just the way I see it, AK, if that's what you're going to do. It's difficult, mate. It's difficult, but you're going to have to make big decisions all the time.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree with Albert as well for what he's saying there too. We need a red out, but as a business, we made boobs. We know selling the majority of the team that we had as Seville. I mean, a team that got to a European final and we didn't cash in on a lot of them. And that's where the kind of decline started for me, you know, and we've still got players.
But weren't any inundated with offers, mate?
No, that's true. That's true. Certainly know that was public knowledge, but I don't know how we could have went about it or what we could have changed, but certainly offering the lucrative contracts that Ross Wilson was dishing out basically stuck them ways because it chased off any prospective buyers to go out there and cash in on players. And you're totally right. Dessers, for the stats and what have you that he's produced the last couple of years, has been decent. Is he a player that we like? Is he a player we rely on? No. But see, when you're potentially getting 4.5, 5 million, whatever he was kind of touted for, that's when you've got to recycle that money back into your squad and get a player what the manager wants, know that's been thrust upon him for previous regimes, and we just keep going round in this cycle of doom, and it's depressing, mate. It really is.
Last night in all the games this season, I can't put. I know he's an ungainly football player, Diamandi. You know, the way he plays all better. He goes to trap it and he falls and he scoops round and he goes away from people. You know, and sometimes you go, how did they manage that? That's the way he is. He's not a culture player, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. But he's absolutely touching his performance, apart from one pass for the goal, mate, when he passes it back, which wasn't exactly difficult, but his contribution and his touch, he's one last night, he controlled it and it went about 10 yards away from him. It's not the first time. He's been absolutely appalling this season.
Well, he's not just this season, mate. That's majority of his games he's played for Rangers. He does occasionally play a good game, but some of them do. But overall, you can't deny it. The trouble I'm getting now, right, is we're criticising Martin and his tactics and what he's doing, right? That's where we're starting at. We can't start at that. You can't criticise his tactics and what he's doing until he puts the players that he's already bought into the team. Once he does that, and if it's the same thing, then you start going, right, come on, this is not working. And it's you see it now, but you can't criticise his tactics with these players. Because at the end of the day, these players played another system last year, and they were equally as crap then as they are now. Now we've got them in this system. So they were always saying it was the system last year, like, come on. Now you've got a new manager, a new system, and still they can't play.
I think
it's going to be them.
I think we've been joined by Uriel for Canada, with Big Al for Australia. How are we doing, Al?
Doing good, Oxshare. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can, mate. How are you, mate?
Perfect, yeah. I'm doing good, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
The weather's nice. Just want to say hi to Albert and AK's on the phone, right?
Yeah, well, mate, if you want to talk about the weather, we're all right with that, the boys.
Evening, we out.
I just wanted to... I'm doing good, guys. Hope you guys are all doing good. It's just, what do you say? History repeating itself. If I'm being honest with you, when it comes to Rangers, I'm depressed. I'm scunnered. I think we've been sold the jerseys. I think, if I'm looking at it, if I'm being honest, I've never went against the manager. I know we can make excuses on players, past players, tactics, shape. We've been through it all for years and years and years. It's clear to me the ownership made the wrong decision in the manager. It's clear. Because he said, I'm going to make them run harder. I'm going to make them run faster. We're going to outcompete everybody we play against, whoever it is. And what he's saying is not what we're saying. And it just gives me the fear, Beale 2.0. I'm sorry, I have to say it. I don't think it's going to work.
Right, who wants to take that one? I'm going to take the fifth on that one, and I'll give that to Albert.
I knew it was going to be. I agree with you, Al.
It was 50-50, it was exactly.
I agree with you. It's definitely looking like that right at this moment. I can't even say give you an argument against what you're saying. It's true. It's no good, mate. It's no good. We all know it's no good. It's no hard to work it out as we're all doing. But you're right. If they have made a mistake, when are they going to say they've made a mistake? Because I don't think they're going to back down. Because it makes them look foolish if they back down too early, doesn't it? So they're going to just say, "Well, we made the appointment, so it must be our judgment is in question here." So if they're going to get it wrong with that far wrong, if it works out that they're going to get rid of him. If they're going to get that decision that far wrong, why would you trust any other decision they're going to make? So we're in a catch-22 situation at the beginning of this road.
Oh yeah, we've been a rock and a hard place, that's for sure, Albert, but it's going to take courage to make a decision, and who knows who made the final decision. And to be honest, I don't trust the CEO. and I listen to him. I've seen it through Come On. I listen to him. I take it on board what he's trying to say. But there's something for me that doesn't feel right about the whole situation, because I'll tell you one thing. If he came out, Patrick Stewart came out and says that Martin was the right guy, they knew 4 or 5 weeks beforehand. If you look at the interviews when he came in, he jumped off the plane. He even complained he never had his hair cut. They gave him a jacket to wear. The jacket was too tight. If you watch the videos behind the scenes, he's complaining about the jacket being too tight. That was I don't know how they made this decision. It was for me, it seemed rushed. It seemed like it wasn't planned. So, they pulled the trigger and went for him. But, and he was saying that he's the guy. Was he the guy, or was he just the easiest guy to get in? Because what I'm seeing is just, for me, it's just not making any sense.
AK.
You've went early, wee Al. I'm not in that camp. Far from it. No yet, anyway. For a couple of reasons. I like to give a manager a chance. I like to give the new regime a chance. After all, the support called for it. They wanted King, Park, Bennett out the door. So the 49ers came in and they sold their shares to them. So they bought into the club, I think roughly around about 97 million they've put into the club to call the shots. So they've made their decisions. So the supporters are no longer involved in their decisions. And they've also put a blueprint, a structure within the club. They need to get that right first and foremost to give the manager every chance. They've gave him money to spend in the players so far. He's made 9 signings, but you could say 2 of them wasn't his, with Cortez and Cameron. So he's made 7 signings. He needs a clear out in that dressing room before he gets any chance. For me, if we've still got the old guard dictating what's happening on the park, because we've heard it before, let's be fair. Barry Ferguson said it in his short tenure. Clement said it. Bale said it. Gio said it. The players haven't gone out. We've been training all week and they're not playing instructions. Who to say they're not doing it again? With this new manager, knowing full well the support will be up my arms about how we're playing.
Have you ever managed a football team at any level, or been involved coaching or done anything?
No, I have not.
What would you do if you were running an amateur team and you had 5 substitutes and you told somebody to do some part of the game? Say you said, for instance, the right back, well, I need you to stay back today, don't go forward, that's your job, and they just kept running forward. What would you do?
Drop him, he wouldn't be playing for me again.
What would you do in that game?
And what, the game last night?
No, in the game, the right back just kept running forward. What would you do after 20 minutes if he wasn't listening? What would you do?
I think you've got to hook him. I think you've got to, so, I've not, it's not the same comparison, but I've been on selection and all that with balls, and you kind of, it's the same kind of things with like picking players and they're no doing what they're meant to be doing. You've got to be strong management. And Murrow, after the game with Murrow, Russell Martin came out and made some strong statements about the players and that, but he's now having to go back to the same players who he criticised after that game to then go and play for him. And if the players have already decided, no, stuff you, we'll just do what we want because we know we'll outlast you because we've outlasted our last 5 managers.
But there's only one
totally
guy.
Unfair.
Are you pinning it all on one guy?
No, but he has a big influence on that dressing room. We blame previous guys, Ox. We blamed Golson's a bad influence. We blame Morelos a bad influence. Lundstrom's a bad influence. Alan McGregor's a bad influence. It's not just this year that this has happened, but this leadership room, you get a clique happening in a changing room on a bowling team or whatever. It doesn't work. It does not work. And at the end result, we're looking for a result. And if they're going out there and just playing the way that they want today, he's going to lose her. And then where do we go again? Because the support aren't picking who they want. But listen, what was our choices? Ancelotti Jr., a total novice in the game.
Yeah.
Keep Barry Ferguson. Gerrard didn't want to come. And now we're picking lower average than players. Why do you not want to come to our club? because they don't want to be involved in a toxic environment.
Yeah, because like I've said it here on the call before about the culture. For me, culture equals attitude, and we used to have a great culture with a great attitude where they're going to go out. Even Ferguson used to say it in the playing days under Abacat. They used to go out and knew they were going to win, but they never went out and strolled around. They went out and attacked. I don't see the attack. 0 shots in goal against Dundee at home. It's pathetic. It's the same stuff that we're seeing. He's not. He said he's going to change the culture, and he's going to force the players to do what he's going to do, and he's just not doing it. But the reason I'm coming out early is because I don't think he's got the personality to motivate the players. I always go back to Advocate. He was a prime example. He came in and changed the whole team. When we played Shelbourne, I think he only had 2 of his players in that team. But the thing was, he changed the team, and he was a tough little general, right? And as Ant-Man says, I don't even think Ant-Man was his signing. Ant-Man says, "Oh, he's a nice guy." He's just not going to be able to motivate. So what I'm saying is, against Alwar, we'll probably see the same thing: 0 shots on goal. There'll be a struggle. I can feel it in my bones, and it's going to be the same. And I say, give him a chance. I think in the next 4 games, if he doesn't turn around these performances, there's going to be no choice. He's going to have to go. But I just can't see him turning around. What do you guys think?
AK, toss the coin. Went the other way this time.
If we all went the same way, what a boring show it would be. Listen, mate, I'm no blind. Do I like what I'm watching? No. It's terrible to watch. It is terrible to watch, and we've been so fortunate to get through these rounds in Europe to where we are. Postecoglou, I know we'll not like throwing it in there. He lost 3 out of his first 5 games. He get put out the Champions League. He get demoted out of Europa League, and then get beat by Bodo Glimt in the conference. And how we laughed at their situation. He managed to get all his own players in there. That's the small glimmer of hope that I'm clinging on to, that Russell Martin can be allowed to get his own team out on the park. Otherwise, we're doomed for failure.
That's similar to what Albert's saying in some respects, Albert.
That's exactly what I'm saying, mate. His tactics might still be wrong, but you've got to give him the chance to implement it with his own players. These players that are failing right now have been tried and failed many times, last season in particular. It came to a head last season, as far as I'm concerned, with all the players that we mentioned earlier on. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll give him the time to try and turn this around. But I'm way out when he says that you don't see how we're going to do it. I totally agree. I don't see how we're going to do it either. But I'm just holding on to the fact, saying, right, okay, start your new team. Start it now. He's going to have to start his own team sooner or later. And there's no use jollying along. There's no reason that team can't be playing that I mentioned tonight. No reason whatsoever. They can play that team and see how we get on, and start coaching them into his way he's wanting to play. Because most of them are all fresh blood. They'll be listening to him. He's the one that brought them to the club. They'll be keen to please. They'll be wanting to be successful, obviously. But the rest of them, the old guard, nah, they're done, mate. They're done. They do what they want to do. Look at Diamandi. Look at Raskin. Raskin does exactly what he wants to do. Raskin refuses to release the ball early. Raskin's a superb player when he's one-touch football. He's absolutely superb. Winning the ball back. Excellent at winning the ball back. Brilliant in the air for his size. Brilliant. In fact, I think he's better in the air than some of our centre halves. He's got some attributes we're asking, but I think he can be a handful, a wee bit of a troublemaker within the ranks and within facing up to the management all the time. I don't mind if he faces up to the management if he's got good reason to face up with them. I've not got a problem with that. But at the end of the day, there should be and will be only one winner when it comes to a player and a manager facing off to each other. And if it goes the player's way, then you know you've got trouble in the squad. You've definitely got trouble in the squad. It's got to be the manager all the time. But we don't. At the moment, it looks there's a conflict there. I don't know if there is. It just looks like it is.
Are you saying, as we sit this now, the manager's not in control of the dressing room? Is that the point you're making, Albert?
I think he's not got control of the dressing room. I think he's relying too much on the old guard.
I agree. I agree what you're saying. I think that's 100%. That's what I'm trying to say. I think he's lost. I think what happened was he told Jeff that you're leaving. He told Dessers you're leaving. Then he turns around and he needs him because the fans put pressure on, saying get the left guy on the left, get the left footer on the left side, get balance in the team. So he's told these players, and maybe he's told Raskin, you're not going to be playing in your favourite position. Maybe we'll look at if the offers come in. We don't know. We have to read between the lines. We don't know what's going on and what Raskin's doing, and what the conversations that they've had. I think the downfall here is Russell Martin thinks he has time. He has zero time. So he had to motivate all the players in the current team because he had 8 of them on the field last night. Maybe Cameron wasn't his player, so 9 players that he never signed on the field last night. He had to motivate all those players and say, "You're going to have to give me everything you've got. We're going to attack. But he hasn't done it. So he's put himself in between this place where he's having to use the players from last year because he thinks he has time, but there's zero time. He's only got a couple of games left in my eyes, to be honest, because the fans will not accept it. And it's going to be very, very tough. And you can see it, the pressure's on him right now, but I just don't know if he's going to be able even to motivate them to beat Alva. It's really, really scares me, And I'm not one for calling it getting rid of managers, but I just don't see. We've been through this before. We know the end result. We know what's going to happen. He's not going to get the time to get 12 of his players on the field or 11 of his players on the field. And the only person keeping him in a job right now is Jack Butland. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it'd only be right that we go to Hallberg with that one. Would you not think that'd be right, AK?
Super Jack Butland.
Super Jack.
Hallberg.
He's playing well. I'll give him his due. He is playing well. He's the keeper that we thought we were getting. Last year was, I don't know what we were getting last year off him. I still don't trust him. He is playing well. I'll give you his due. And if it wasn't for him, we'd be out the cup. We'd definitely be out that tournament long before. And I'm talking about the Panathinaikos game as well, because he played well in that game as well. So for Jack Butland is doing absolutely excellent. He's also doing excellent in the league because he did pull off some good saves in both the Motherwell and the Dundee game as well. So he's actually, from last year, raised his game up to where it should be. Now you're sitting looking at it, you go, right, if he can do it, why can't Suter? Why can't Diamandi? Why can't Raskin? Why can't Dessers, Danilo? Why can't they raise their game up to the top standard, the best they can actually play? Or is this what we're seeing, the best they can play? But at the end of the day, I don't think he'll get sacked, mate. I don't think he'll get sacked as quickly as you think he's going to get sacked. They're definitely going to give him time. There's no doubt about that, because we can't keep sacking managers and rinse and repeat. It does not work. And there's no, if we sack him and bring him out, there's no going to say the next manager coming in is going to work. What do we do? He has half a dozen bad games. If we sack him as well, we just keep going to somebody can win the first half dozen games he's in charge. We can then and that's it. That's what
but bizarrely, mate, if you look at the half a dozen games and you want to spin it, he's lost 1 out of half a dozen. There's 2 away European ties. But if you want to also spin this stat, we've only won 1 in the last 4 games, AK.
Yeah, well, that is facts. They're not dressing that up. It depends how you want to look at it, but you're right. It's not a great position to be in, but you spun it perfectly well last night in your summary. We saying if we'd have started with 2 victories domestically, would we be looking as critical as what we're looking in their performances in Europe? No, we wouldn't. But it's because we've started so sluggishly in the league and probably deserve to lose the 2 games as well. It's a big month that we've got coming up, and at our club you don't get time. In that aspect, we are right, and everybody will know that's out there. He said that himself. He says you come to win at Rangers. You're not allowed to get time to bed in. You must start with that winning outlook. Now, whether that's getting through at the players or whether they've decided, no, we don't like you and we'll just get rid of you, I don't know. But we've got new ownership this time. This is another aspect that is completely different this year from previous years. The previous owners had an emotional attachment to the club because they were supporters as well as wealthy businessmen. These are wealthy businessmen with no emotional attachment to the club. Leeds had a decision this year before they get, after they get promoted to the Premiership, where a lot of the Leeds supporters were questioning, do we keep Farquhar? Because when he was in the Premier League with Norwich, he had a terrible record in there, and they wanted, or they thought maybe they would sack him for somebody that was more established to give themselves every chance of, surviving the Premier League. So I don't think it's up to us, but we can certainly. Well, it's basically up to the players. It's up to the team. It's up to the manager. Results and performances have got to improve, but I don't think the new regime will be as trigger happy as the previous regime was and wilt so easily. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but it's all about results, isn't it? And then performances come secondary. We haven't played well in any game.
Mm-hmm.
The six competitive games and the two, if you like, pre-season games. We haven't. We've got results.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say there. I was trying to say, even he says he has time, right? So even though his performance is not going to be the performances that he wants, the result was very, very important. Let's go out and get these results, right? Because he doesn't have his players in, so he's got to have to buy himself time. He's got to understand, if you look at all the other managers, Gio, Bill, Clement, they all had the same problem. If he understood what was coming in, he would know, let's get the fans on my side. Let's, forget about the passy football for now and style. Just get out there and just annihilate these teams and win. But that's the thing that he's not done. He's put himself in this situation, and he's back in clean slate. He says clean slate. Everybody's a clean slate. But like you got to understand that training is like an interview process for me. It's when you go on the field, they're not giving him what he wants, and I'm not coming out against him. And I think the ownership group will make the right decision when they've got so much money involved. They've got the money to pay off the players, I guess, the money to pay off the manager. They'll do it when they need to do it. So I don't think the fans have to force the issue. That's not what I'm saying. I just don't see this being ending in a good way, even though I do want to be success. My weekend happiness and joy for most of us is the same as everybody's, is centered around Rangers. And my day starts early, and tell you, it's just I've been through this too much, and I can see the writing on the wall, and I'm not calling for anything, but I think that's what's going to happen, to be honest. And he should have known better. Taking this job on, it was a massive, massive thing, especially at this point. And the reason he has 0 time is because of the past history. It's not to do with him being a manager, right? It's to do with the past history. Every manager is going to have shorter and shorter and shorter leash and rope around their neck because they have to perform, because the fans can't take this much longer. That's where I'm coming from,
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
interesting. I mean, the fans are frustrated,
We really need to learn as well as fans. We can't get entrench ourselves again. We entrench ourselves. A lot of the fans, the majority of the fans, entrenched themselves with the Clement, and we get rid of Clement. Okay, it was the Scottish Cup game. It finished them off. Yeah. But we entrenched ourselves a lot.
Do you think if that hadn't happened? And I'm going to copy Ike. He wanted to ask something last night, but the perfect gap there for when you've opened that up. Do you think if the Queen's Park game hadn't happened, he'd have been still part of the takeover Clement? In your opinion, Olber?
Aye. I think it was the fans at the end up, they entrenched themselves. And it was just repeat. We don't like him, this, blah, 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 blah. Exactly what they're doing now with your man. And rightly so. I mean, the football's crap. I'm not saying try to protect him and say the football's good. It's no. But you've got to be careful here now, because we sacked Clement, and it was the Queen's Park game. It sacked him eventually. But then, as I said at the time, you sacked him. For what reason? We've not moved 1 inch forward when you sacked him. And we got to the end of the season, never moved 1 inch forward. Yet everybody was convinced that if we sack him, the players will come good. Barry will come in and get them all playing. And you sat there and we watched the same utter garbage as we watched under him, Clement. then you're sitting saying, right, hold on a minute here. Now we're back to the situation right now with a new manager, with some new players, and we're talking the exact same way. We're going to start. We've started on it. We just keep talking about getting rid of him. We're starting to entrench ourselves. Say we need to get rid of him. We need to get rid of him. Why do we need to get rid of him? How are we going to make this work? If we get rid of him, who are we bringing in for a start? Well, that's a conversation down the line. But it's a factor. Are we going to move forward once we get rid of him? Right now, are we going to move forward? No. You're going to put out the same 7 that started last night with some new players probably. And we're going to get the same results again in the same, maybe not the same style, but definitely the same quality of performance. It is nonsense, mate. It has to stop. Right. Now, what I think should happen with the manager, he should be dragged up that style the new. And Stuart should be saying to him, right, I'm going to keep on asking you until these results get better. And I actually see it when the park gets getting better. But I'm going to keep bringing you up here and asking you the question. Because at the end of the day, the fans don't like it. They don't want to watch boring football. And that's what we're getting. And you're not even getting the results. We're playing this boring football. So we want results. Let's get the results. He'll be laying it. He's the one that should be talking to him. No, all his entrenching ourselves again, calling for managers' heads, calling for the same things we called with Clement, the same things we called for with Beale, the same things we called for with Van Bronckhorst. You've got to sit and say, he's saying this is going to come all right. I don't see it myself. I don't know how it's going to come all right. And I'm not going in blind faith. But what I do know, as I've said, I'm going to go back to it again, is these players that were playing last night is the same players that's let us down. Some of them for years, some of them for quite less. But you have to take as the yardstick last season. That's the defining time for me. Last season, mate. I'm basing, I don't care if 2 year, 5 year, 1 year, 6 months. If they played last year, no, they let us down badly, mate. That was dreadful last year. And we all had to sit and suffer that season. And you remember how long that season was? It was 10 year long, mate. The time we were out of the league early doors. We were out of the league, we lost the League Cup. We're still in Europe, and we're all clinging on to that and saying we're doing well in Europe. And we all know we're not winning anything in Europe. We're just going game to game, a couple of extra games in Europe. That's not good enough for Glasgow Rangers. And you learn, then you get whacked out the Scottish Cup, and that was the end for it. That you're saying, now we sit meaningless games to the end of the season. Some people are saying, well, we still need to secure second spot. Why? What's the point? I don't get the point. They're playing for nothing. It's just nonsense. And in the last 6 games of the season, when your man came in, Ferguson, it's dead rubbers. I get told, no, don't call it dead rubbers. No, there's no game, no Rangers game means it is a dead rubber. Of course they were dead rubbers. Unless you face up to facts and call it what it is, you're delusional. You've just got to say it's dead rubbers. The season's done. It's finished. It was done months ago. You've got to kid yourself on and say, oh, no, we might win the league. There is no chance we're going to win the league. No chance whatsoever. And we all knew it. And we're sitting 4 points behind the league. We've scraped through in Europe. God knows how, but we've scraped through in Europe. And we're sitting and watching a style of football that we absolutely loathe. All of us loathe it. You get the guys that like tactics will talk. Oh, they've had great fun talking about the tactics. But the rest of us just like to watch good football. We know good football when we see it, and we know a good player when we see one. But at the moment, we don't see anything. We're just sitting so depressed.
Mate. I'll use the famous phrase. That's plenty, eyes up.
Plenty eyes up.
Okay, there we are.
Speak a lot of sense, Albert. Listen, we're all worried. Anybody that isn't worried isn't being true to themselves. But we are worried, and there's a few reasons why we're worried. Obviously, because the situation we're in the league, but I also look at other teams in the league, and anybody that watches, Hearts and Aberdeen, Dun United, Hibs, you can see improvement in them. Even the Motherwell, new manager, new approach. Dundee as well there, Ox, new manager, new approach. So everybody's going down a different route, and they're getting more success out of it than we are. That's undeniable. But we're just hoping that, listen, if you're playing for Rangers here, you're getting paid plenty. You should be performing better than what you are. And that goes for the manager as well. Stop giving us this bull crap about stats and all that, Chris. We heard that we Beale and we were fed up with it, even Clement fed is it. So we're sick, fed, hearing up about that. The stats that we want to see is wins for Rangers, and that's the only way we can go. But that, as I said before, that can only be when players start performing for the manager. His instructions.
Foxy sent an apology. He tried to play the tune earlier when Albert was speaking. Sorry, mate.
You lasted the tune.
I broke the tune. It's a
You
record.
broke the record, man. You broke the record.
A record breaker.
I got a medal for that one, a medal.
Nice little ditty to do some dancing to, Albert.
Could I just give some people a wee history lesson? Look, we're not having a go. Just when people have talked about Souness and he lost only 1-2 in his first 10, I don't get that. He lost 2 of his first league games. He lost to Hibs. We won against Falkirk. And we lost to Dundee United. We were 2-0 up at half time. And we beat Stenhouse in the League Cup. We signed, what was his name? Lindsay Hamilton after that game, because he had a good game against us. Beat Hamilton, drew with East Fife, won in penalty kicks, mate. Played the final bit with 9 men. We used our subs and people get injured. We won in penalty kicks away to East Fife. But people forgot we only won the competition. Then the next game, in the first televised all-firm game, the famous goal that Durant scored for the Cooper Flick. We then beat Dundee, Murrable, Clydebank, Eels Tampere at home, the famous game with the dribbling for Cooper. And then after that, we lost away at Dundee, then we won the next 2. So it was a fantastic start, but it wasn't a disastrous start. The first two or three games weren't great, and he went into the first all-firm game, which was the end of August, under having to win that as well, and done. And then that gave him a springboard and set the season up. You know, so comparison, maybe, but not the same, mate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it can be done. It can be done, mate. No comparisons, no, but it can be done. As I say, I just don't entrench for sale at the moment. No, I mean, eventually I might have to go, as Al's saying. It might be true, but don't entrench for sale. Don't all just pile in and go, all right, get rid of him. It's no good. Of course it's no good. He's no stoning back in that sideline thinking that I'm dishing up a good calibre of football and a good style of football. He knows that. He says he's going to do it. What I would say to him is stop talking. Just keep your interviews to no more than 45 minutes, no more than that, and just only talk about the current game coming up or the next game coming up. Don't give too much. He gives too much away and he says too much. Clement was the same. We'll be better by October. No, this. Don't get down that road. Don't keep saying we're going to improve. We're going to learn.
Stick to beat you, yeah.
Aye. Don't give him any more stick. Don't give him any more. But he can't seem to shut up. He just seems to like talking about football. Talking about football and actually get it won apart is 2 different things. Concentrating getting it won apart. Start winning games. Don't care how you do it. You should be saying to the players as well, don't care how we win these games, but we need to win these games. If it has to take for some players to say, see if you play me here, I think I can contribute a lot more. Listen to the player and say, right, okay, we'll try you there. Well, let's go for it. But at the moment, it's not working.
See, if that is the case, if a player says he wants to play there, I'd bag him now, mate. I'd bag him now.
If he goes on and shows you that he is better, then how are you going to bag him?
Then what happens if 5 players want to play here, there, and everywhere, mate? You get chaos, mate.
You've not get chaos if it works. You get chaos if it doesn't work. If they just want to play because they just prefer to play there. But if they actually play and it actually makes the team better.
And you come out before we go to the tune that Albert was.
I was just what I say. Does Amarin have the same issues at Man United, but on a lesser financial scale?
I don't care, mate, if I'm honest.
just the comparable.
Aye, well, there is similarities in some of the issues, mate, with players that you don't want. We all last word before we go to the tune, mate. I get your point, AK, and then after the tune, you come in with your point, yeah?
Yeah, great opinions by everybody, you know, and that's why I love listening to the show. And I'm not saying sack the manager. I never said that. What I'm saying is I can't see any way around it that he can get himself out of this, because I don't see anything that's going to be positive, and we should be playing the game. I think he's got the same attitude as the past managers. It takes us 90 minutes, we can win this game in 90 minutes. But against a low block, you have to play in sections of 15. You have to try and win it within 15 minutes, or maybe even within 30 minutes. Like when we got to Dundee and it was 0-0 half time, you just knew they were going to score. It's just happened after time, after time, after time. I'm hoping he can turn it around. But this next game will show us everything, and it'll be interesting to see what happens,
Yeah, you're a wise man, Al. You're a wise man. Right, okay, we've reached that time of the evening. Time's flew by the night. Get yourself on mute, because we're going to have a tune.
I'd been in exile for some years, and my eyes filled up with tears when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. So I took a trip along just to hear some famous songs when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. I stood there all alone while the boys all down from home sang of Rangers, that team of great renown. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now on the field below, the boys put on a show, the likes they'd never seen at Molyneux. And it's football, it was grand, from Macmillan, Scott and Brand, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now the league flag must come nearer with men like Bobby Shearer, the way he played at Wolverhampton town. And the world forever after would sing of Jimmy Baxter, for on his head they placed that noble crown. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now I knew it had to happen, I heard a mighty roar, the famous Glasgow Rangers they had scored. And the sky was white and blue, Wolverhampton shook right through, the loyal rampant Rangers had come through. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. When the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, great tune that comes from Cobby. I met Cobby Lowe, who used to phone on the show regularly on Saturday, and congratulations to him and his new grandson called Teddy. I wonder who he's named after.
It's a good name, Teddy. I like that.
Aye. He was as proud
Ted
as...
Bundy.
What's that?
Ted Bundy.
Oh, well, you might think that, but I think the rest of us think it's Teddy Bear, mate. But the rest of us,
Congratulations.
yeah. He was as proud as punch. Proud as punch he was. Your Corby Lyle. Listen, Bear, how have we got ourselves in this situation? I've always said the hardest thing's getting rid of players. I've always thought that. And AK used the analogy about Man United, and I get some of the stuff that they've got. How do we do this? What's the quick fix? Or is there a quick fix?
No, there isn't a quick fix, mate. This is years of mismanagement, years. Yeah. So you've got to clear all that up. It's got to be cleared up. You can do that as quickly as possible, providing you've got places for these players to go. I would think that Fell was working harder than trying to get players out than he tried to get players in at the moment, and that's not a good place to be. But it's years of mismanagement, mate. We're at a place now where it's definitely a crossroads, mate. So the foundations of the 49ers and their background is there. They're solid as a rock, mate. They're there.
You were going to start singing there.
I was. The business acumen, so they know what they're doing, mate. Now we'll go at the situation where we'll get a football manager that is not particularly doing well at the moment, talking a game that nobody truly understands what he's talking about. But anyway, he's there now, and he's trying to manipulate a squad of players that most of them are no good enough. They're not saying they're his players and all that. Forget that terminology. They're just simply no good enough. And they've proved that with 2 or 3 managers now, him being the third. So they've proved that. So that's where your big problem is lying, mate, at the moment. But quick fix? No, definitely not. But it can be sorted. That's the question we should say. Can it be sorted? Of course it can.
Every day I'm just waiting for people to leave the club. Okay, you've got something you want to ask?
I have so. It's a question for the panel, the listeners, and hope we get a response out of them as well to offer their opinions. Were we too quick as a support to chase Gio out the door and player for player to the team that played in Seville, or we regressed?
Can I take the second part of the question?
Aye, take whatever part you want.
Without a doubt,
I think
mate.
it's obvious we have regressed away.
Without a doubt, mate. Aye. Right, the first part's really tricky, mate. But I would answer it, but I'll pass it around the panel. I'll let Al have his say on it first, mate. Al, in you come, mate. What's your take on AK's?
Over to you, Ox, Jeff.
All right. Listen,
No, I got
think
it.
in hindsight, AK.
Yeah, but-
Hindsight.
That's what those 2 centre halves to me to you.
In hindsight, and I'm going to kick one right off the part. In hindsight, I agree with your sentiment 100%. At the time, I remember we had to come on and do the aftermatch show after the debacle against Liverpool, where, to be fair, they centre half. Golson was half injured. I think Ryan Jack had to go half injured. We had King and Sands in midfield, and we'd actually done all right in the first half. We should have been winning at half time, and the game just fell in front of us, pointing with our eyes, and Gio never reacted, and we had that trouncing at Ibrox that we never thought we would see, and it happened, and then there was no way back. And there was talk that the dressing room had felt like we were in the summer, right or wrong, like rumours, yeah. But maybe if we'd have showed the cojones and stuck with him, maybe. I don't think that was a pivotal moment. I think the pivotal moment is when BVG left with 6 points clear, mate. I think that was a pivotal moment, if I'm being honest. It wasn't that long ago in football history, but it seems a lifetime ago when he left us in 2021. But if he hadn't gone, we might not have gone to Seville. So I don't know, mate, but I think the 2 moments are pivotal within a year of each other. And since then, things have not been right. And come on, to go to a stage in the Queen's Park game, I don't think we had any choice. I thought it was a busted flush before that. because of the run of results he was having. But the Queen's Park game was a nail on the head. But in hindsight, we might have been better sticking with Van Bronckhorst, mate. I get your rationale, mate. We weren't quick enough to get people out the door. We should have never gave out 2-year extension to Tav or the 4-year extension. Was it a Golson? Was it a 4-year? Was it a new 4-year contract to go?
Aye, 4 years.
I mean, that was just
that
was just crazy. Yeah. I've understood 2 or 1 with an option. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. And Tav another year, and obviously you've hung about because that was just mental, and the wages for Scottish football were massive. So the mistakes were made, and I don't think all the mistakes are down to the manager all there.
No, I mean, the crux of the question is if we learn anything. I think that's what you're trying to say, Alec, is if we learn anything. If doing it with Van Bronckhorst, or was that the catalyst of the modern time, or the most recent time of the state we're into now, where we're right now, we're doing what we've done to him, and it just sort of snowballed along the lane. And it's got to the stage that the fans just take it as second nature that things are not going right, but they're the manager. Whereas went through a full history of no doing that, and the club enjoyed a huge success and huge stability for over 100 and odd years. No, I mean, so it's an argument that you go to say we're probably too quick to condemn the manager. But again, we're wanting instant success. Now we're at the stage we want instant success. Even before we're having success before we even play games. At the end of the day, sometimes you need to endure stuff that to make you stronger, and I think that's a part of what we're going through at the moment. And it's no easy. It definitely isn't easy to watch this. It's a tragedy at times. But you're looking at the players. I just keep looking all the time. Now I just look at the players and keep looking at the players and saying, "You are the only ones." We're all sitting in the stands. He's sitting in his seat in the dugout. The directors are sitting in the directors' box, and the owners are sitting wherever the owners are sitting in America or whatever. All the ones I mentioned there can do nothing. It's usually not part. Usually the only ones that can do this. No us. We've paid our money. We've supported the board's bought the club. They've invested money. Managers picked the team. He's done your training. It's all down to you now. You've had the best food, the best facilities. They go out and perform, and they don't. They simply don't. Time and time again, and it's the same players. As far as I can see, I know I'm harping on. I know I'm like a broken record. I like talking about the same thing over and over again. But at the end of the day, that's what I see, and you can blame the manager. He's going to carry the can. If we don't get success, whenever that is, if he doesn't get success, he'll be away. Like any football manager. Let's be honest. We're not a special club when it comes to that. That's just football. The results are what drives keeping your manager or no keeping your manager. But I don't see it improving until he bites the bullet. He needs to bite the bullet. And if he does get his books, he can seriously turn around and say, well, I gave it my best shot when I made the decisions, and they didn't work out, so I got my jotters. But at the moment, if he get his books in, we will sit and go, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool. You relied on the same players that get 2 other managers sacked. You relied on them again. So that's 3. It's a hat trick of managers have got sacked. No, that's not going to allow it to happen, mate. That cannot happen. And I think Stuart might be looking at that sort of same way and going, no, this is not happening again. We're bringing people in, and no matter who we bring in, it's not good enough for these players. No. Common denominator, mate. It's as simple as that. Common denominator.
I think we've been joined by old David. Evening, David.
Evening, boys. How are we doing?
Good, pal. How are you?
Hi, David. I'm fine. I'm just getting old and grumpy. It's just a shame that the way this conversation is going. It's a crying shame that we're stuck in this rut again. It's doing your nothing. But I think realistically, guys, Alec and Old Bear and yourself, Oaks, were making comments. Who else is on the show?
We all for Canada.
Oh, we all. How you doing, we all?
I'm doing good, Davey. You going to get your guitar out tonight or what?
No, if I'd have read cared for that, they'll not let me near it. I'm saving that for my birthday. Anyway, regarding the games and what we're up against here, everybody was said their piece there, and you're all spot on. All Bear's right, and he's wrong about some things. So's Alec right about something. You're the same, Ox, but all we're doing here is going round in circles. We're just going to bite the bullet here. But I was just thinking something, I think it was Alex said something that I picked up on it, and I'm with him regarding that, is once he gets his players in, but I'll tell you one, I think you got a message from me, Ox, about that Jeffy one. That guy he's an explosion mate. He is an explosion mate. He shouldn't be in that park. I don't care if the young guys they can't rely on him, but he is shocking. And him and Suter together are a disaster. So until he gets sorted out, then I'll try and judge it. But that's the thing, as we're all been saying, it's a time thing here. And you know what the Bears are like. But as one of these guys said, the new management, they might just put up with that. But hopefully we'll see a wee bit of light at the tunnel, because we need to see something, because this can't go on. And another thing, he made a point about, we're talking about a manager tricks, blah, blah, blah. Now, we've got a problem from midfield to about this possession football. It does go back and forward, goes back and forward, but it goes to the middle. And then where does it go from there? It goes to the wing, and then it goes back to the midfield, and then back to the midfield to the half-back line. And that's got to change.
That's his philosophy, mate. I was speaking to somebody today, and I told them about a conversation I had with two Southampton supporters, all were word for word, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I tell them what he said. Tell them what they say. And it's still, it doesn't good listen. It doesn't make good listening for a Rangers supporter, I'll tell you.
He was talking about when they were in the top flight. He says you'll have moments, and after 2 months you'll want to kill him. That's what he said, and that was before the season had started. That was the conversation happened the morning before the Bruges game at Ibrox. Yeah.
And it doesn't get any better according to them.
Davey, how do we fix this? Patience, all coming together, support. You know, listen. If you're playing every game at Ibrox, other teams are having a lot more chances of you. You're going to lose more games, Davey. And this has to be turned round. And if you're messing about with the ball 25 yards with your own goal and no getting up the park, you're constantly going to be gaining away more chances you're making, mate. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, that's the stats don't help either. You know, that's what you see is what you're getting, and it's not changing. And but I'm quietly confident. I'm laying it all on the manager at the moment, but at the same time, I'm laying it on the players. There's some of them that shouldn't be there, and I've mentioned them time and time again, and we've not got any options at the moment. Till you get that sorted out, we're not going anywhere. And he's talking about, we've been very lucky to get through these cup games. Really lucky. We've rode with, I mean, some of the chances that Mob missed, you were shutting your eyes going, oh, here we go, this is going to another one. But if we get back to the sort of, the way you try to break down the likes of the Dundee game. Now, I watched that Dundee game. I'm just going back to this game, guys. I watched that Dundee game. We were getting a corner. There was 19, 20 players in their 18-yard box. That's the way they set up their stall. 2 banks of fight. But I say one thing for them. They ran their guts out, and that's going to change for Rangers. I didn't see that happening last night, because I just think there's a few there that's not got the talent to be good enough for Rangers.
Listen, football's 90% attitude, 10% ability. There's a lot of people with the same ability play at a higher level. You need to have that attitude to drive you and be consistent, okay?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, Marino Gattuso wasn't exactly the most gifted player, but the wee man, you know, he worked his socks off, get into that AC Milan team and get into the Italian team, won European Cups and a World Cup. That just shows you where your attitude, your physical ability can take you to places. You know, so you need that type of player. You need that type of attitude, that winning mentality in your dressing room, and we don't have enough yet. We don't have enough leaders. We don't have enough players that's coming into the club that's actually win things, and we don't have enough players that's actually already here that's won things. So Albert's right. We need a raid out as soon as possible. I mean, you reflect back on it, we have no a manager that can look out onto that park and say, the 11 players, they're all mine and they're all playing for me. Not since Gerrard. And even when Souness came in, if you cast your mind back, Ox, what did he come into Rangers at the time? Maybe about 4, 5, 6 players for the Jock Wallace team that he left. And he brought, you know...
Funny you should say that.
More than that.
Funny you should say that. When I looked at the games, when I looked at that game, where am I? For 1987, I'll just...
Easter Road.
Aye, when he got sent off, I looked at the first Old Firm game. Let me just... The second Old Firm game, we drew one each. McCoy scored the goal. Let me just find it, mate.
Brian McClure scored that day. Yep.
Yeah, McCoy scored. We drew one each, right? And the team was right, Woods, obviously. Jimmy Nicholl was there before. Monroe was there before. Ferguson was there before. McPherson was there before. Cammy Fraser was there before. Robert Fleck was there before. Alan McCoy was there before. Ian Durant was there before. And Davy Cooper. And the subsequent who were used that day were Dougie Bell and Ted McMahon. So the two new players in that team were the goalkeeper and the centre half. By the way, a cut above, let's be honest. But however, you know, people think that it was evolution. It wasn't a revolution that everybody thought, mate. So there you go. They were all there before, mate.
I stand corrected. Good information that. But they were the ones that he wanted initially. And listen, he's got to keep with some of them, because you can't change everything in one transfer window, and that's what a lot of your support are expecting to happen. It's impossible, and there you go. Souness found it impossible, so he had to stick with him. But many of the players were there the following year, you know. And I thought Robert. I thought Robert Fleck was a really good player, but he didn't last too long. Stuart Monroe definitely lasted a few seasons. Dave McPherson was the same, but Cammy Bell and all them didn't last too long.
Cammy Fraser.
But for good reason, because they brought in better.
Aye, you know, let me... I'll see. I'll check that. I'll look at a year later. Yeah, see what the team was. Yeah, if you just bear with me. But listen, you need to get the blend right. You need to let the manager do his own thing if you've given him a job. Do you think there'll be any conversations taking place at the club? Do you think people will be saying, "Well, what's happening?" Or do you think they'll be happy? We'll get through the first 2 rounds in Europe. We've no lost a game in the league. It's just true. We've dropped 4 points, but we've not lost again. Do you think there'll be any conversations, Albert and then Davy can come in?
I would hope there's no conversations. I hope that the conversations took pre-season when he took the job on, and he's explained exactly how this is all going to pan out. And at the moment it's all panning out near enough what he's been saying. I hope that's the conversation, because if that was the conversation, then there's hope it's going to get better. Then he's got a plan to get it better and say, well, it's going to work. If you're having the conversation now, oh no, you're in trouble, aren't you? This is getting to the stage. And I'm saying if Stuart's taking him up the stairs now, he'll be taking him up every week to say this gets better and saying, look, I'll protect you. But I'm not going to blindly protect you. You need to give me something on the park to pacify the fans and pacify the rest of the board members and the ownership. Because the ownership's looked at this and they're going, what's happening here? Because if they're watching these games, they're seeing what we're seeing. and it doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good. But no, I would hope the conversations all took place in pre-season, and this is all expected. I'm not saying obviously the plan for it to go better, but this is what might happen. But don't worry, we'll get through this period. It will be all right. You'll see it's going to be all right. We're going to win games and we're going to win a league. Great, it's fantastic. That's great. But I don't know if that did take place.
Oh, David.
I'm with Old Bear there all day long, because from what's the way the conversation is going, if we do that and you're talking about discussing things, you're only throwing a log on the fire, another log on the fire. So we can't keep doing that. You just got to bite a bullet here to see, and that's the only thing. Will they'll get time or no? It depends on what has been said. What will get said will come to what the results. The results will say a lot, but hopefully, if we can't beat Arsenal in trouble. They beat Dundee.
Well, that says it all. We are.
Yeah, good point, Stevie. I love listening to you, and you're one of the most important callers to the show, so appreciate your input. I think there are conversations going on right now, because what the fans will do, what the management or the ownership will do is they'll check the customer base and what the feelings. That's why every company will send a survey, right? So they're going to be checking social media and see the tone of the fans, and they're going to understand that fans are not liking it. So they're definitely going to have conversations. I don't know what kind of decisions they'll make, but they'll definitely be having conversations, and they'll be trying. You don't invest so much money and not succeed, and they might think it's going to be a long-term plan, but we have to have short-term wins here. So it's going to be very, 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 very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'd like a couple of bodies to get the door, if I'm honest. These seem to have dragged on forever, some of these sagas, don't they?
Aye, absolutely. And we've all spoke about it at length. The players you're talking about, your Matondos and your Davies, Yilmaz, Cifuentes, there are too many of them. They're contributing absolutely nothing and taking tens of thousands, if not hundreds, out the door with them. They're players getting paid at our club. They've got absolutely no future there whatsoever. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Russell Martin will want the majority of the players out the door, plus others to follow them. I mean, you look at that team that he selected last night, 7 out of the 11 were players, that played at the club last year under Clermont, and even the subs that he brought on, 4 out of the 5 were the same. So he's no getting his own players into the team quickly enough. I believe Asgard and maybe Mikey Moore and maybe even Igaman are going to appear this week at the weekend, which is good. Gives them more options, and it means some of the players will be dropping out the team and off the bench as well. So that's good, because he needs to freshen up approach and ideas. Our best performance of the season so far, you couldn't even say it was a 90-minute performance, was Victoria Pilsen at Ibrox. The rest of them have been very poor, so a lot of things need to improve, and it's an opportunity to go out there and beat Alloa. They get beat last night by Stranraer in that Challenge Cup, but don't dismiss them too much, because they beat Dundee in a section game. So we need to be better than what we are. I think that's undoubtedly a fact as well.
Aye. Listen, it will no matter what we do. If we get 1-5-0 against Allen, I don't think it's going to change the mood all bit. But then quite quickly, there's a massive game next Tuesday, isn't there? Massive game.
Aye, well, next Tuesday will take care of itself. And I think we're going to be looking at that game behind the couch if we're going to play the way they're playing. But anyway, for the Alloway game, depends on the team he picks, but I'll guarantee if he picks the players that played last year in the Queen's Park game, Obviously, can't pick proper, but there's players that played in that game that are still there. So they've already experienced this, a lower team. I'm saying to myself, get this game won in the first half hour, and then you can go and experiment, do what you want to do with all the rest of the players. This is my head. The reality will be they're going to be stubborn and hard to break down, and we're going to struggle to break them down. So we'll see, mate. We'll see. But take them lightly at your peril, mate. I'm telling you. We can't take anybody lightly, mate. Anybody of any calibre, because we are that bad at the moment.
Aye, it's a sad indictment, AK. It's a sad indictment, isn't it?
When you're looking at all and being worried, oh, definitely. Definitely. But it's over to the players. It's over to the players. They're the guys that's running across that white line, and then it takes it out the manager's hand. But listen, are we really working them hard enough? Fox asked that in the chat there as well. And if we aren't, why no? Because last year we were hearing that Clement was only getting 2 hours training a day. These guys should be out there 8 hours a day, you know, until we get this system right, because it's obviously no right. You know, work their backsides off until we see improvement, because it's entertaining, fast, physical. No, don't see any of that.
Listen, mate, they'll all be about rest already, mate. The guys that's playing, mate, because they'll be playing the 3 games a week. There'll be very little done on the training pitch. I'll be back in this afternoon to see everybody for a rub down, see anybody's got any injuries. And then tomorrow they'll focus, that'll be Thursday. They'll focus on, they'll do some work, but there'll be a lot of training. You know, you might be doing drills and working on stuff, but you'll not be running for miles and miles now, mate. That's meant to have been done already. All bear it.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be on the tank now. You just keep it ticking over and pop it up slightly. But the full-bodied training sessions, they'll not be done. Maybe they'll be done for players that have not been playing. They'll have to do full-day training, but which encourages you to get in the team and stay in the team, because you do less training. But because most players don't like training. But at the end of the day, you can't. There is no time. There's no time for coaching either as well. There's too many games. I've been banging on about this for long enough. There's just no time for anything bar playing football. It's just game after game after game. No breathing space, no nothing. End of the day, the way we're playing, we're glad it's. We're no glad it's game after game. You like it if we're playing well and winning games. It's enjoyable, very enjoyable. But at the moment, it's not very enjoyable for us.
To answer your question, just 1 minute, and I'll come right back to you, David. Just for AK, a year later, the start of November in '87, and the Rangers team was Woods, Jimmy Nicholl, who was there, McGregor, Roberts, Souness, Richard Gough, and then the front 5 was Derek Ferguson, Robert Fleck, Alan McCoist, Ian Durrant, and Davy Cooper, mate. So most of them had been there under Jock Wallace, mate.
They weren't bad players though, eh? And they were all Scottish proddies. That's maybe how we kept them.
So a bonus point for the first person who gets a substitute that day. A bonus point. There you go. When you go, David, the floor's yours.
You're getting back too many years. No, what I was going to say is this: he's been getting criticised left, right, and centre, which is par for the course at the moment. But I picked up one thing he says. We're watching him go side to side, right? Okay, it's boring, it's dangerous. Somebody's going to give us it one of these days. But he made a point, and this is, you watched it last night, it happened umpteen times. We were getting the ball to the midfield. The midfield were trying to get to the forwards. And I said it earlier, they pass it back. But a lot of times they were misplacing their passing. And that's what he was partly highlighted. And there's no system on the planet is going to that day Monday was shocking. You know, I mean, you could go into Jeffy, this guy and that guy. But once they got the ball, they either gave it back when they had a clear pass or they gave it back to the other team. That's not the manager's fault. That's players. That's the ability of the players to do that.
If I'm being honest, mate, I can't understand how Diamandi started the 6 games, mate. I understand maybe how he started the season, but in my opinion, he's been non-existent in the 6 games. Yeah, but listen, we're moving into the last bit of the show. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
You give a wee shout out, Ox, to the Staunch Brigade. Heading up for Luton.
Aye, Mr. SS, yeah.
Aye.
You'll be tired. You'll be
Not
tired.
surprised. Not surprised.
By the way,
You go to take your hat after these boys that go these away games.
Admire them to the point of they're mental, but fair play to them, mate. Fair play to them.
Especially that a game like that last night.
Aye. Listen, the sub that day against Hibs was maybe arguably one of the most famous players to play for Rangers. There's a clue.
Johnson?
You know,
1987. Come on, Alec. Come on, don't make yourself. You're a panelist. You don't even need
Trevor Francis.
Well done, Albert. Well done, Albert.
Well done, Albert.
See, better than you, Alec. And I don't use Google. That's right off the old memory there.
Good on you.
If he used Google, he needs to get a new one.
I know.
Aye, Trevor Francis, no longer with us. Testimonial last year. Been at Birmingham, aye. But aye, just the point, Alec, that 6 or 7 of the players had been there, and they went and got us to the quarter-final European Cup that season, and if Butcher doesn't break his leg, that season could have been different, mate. That season could have been different.
Yeah, I totally agree. Aye, good memories. At the year, was it Stoya Bucharest, was it?
Aye, that.
Red Star Belgrade.
Anybody who's not seen it, go and look at Souness's tackle.
Oh, God, aye. It was a commentary. And that is a booking.
Anybody, look on the YouTube. Rangers face Stoya Bucharest at home, mate. Yeah. Go and look at it. Unbelievable. Anyway, just change the subject a wee bit, trying as we slowly build up to the biggest game of the season, as Bridgeman would say, home to Alloa, Albert.
I know. That's it. That is. He's right. It's normally we'd be sitting there going, oh, aye, 4 or 5, we'll slaughter them. And so we should. But this team, no, we never know what we're going to get. Well, we do know what we're going to get because we've seen it for long enough, so we know exactly what's going. They're going to huff and puff, aren't they? Well, what you're looking forward to is the 2 boys that we've not seen, Mikey Moore and Azagard. They're supposed to be starting, so at least that'll be something something good to look at.
Talking about somebody who likes starters, main courses, and pudding. I've been joined by Bob Jar. Evening, Bob Jar.
Hi, good evening, lads. How are you all with us tonight?
Good, all right, mate. It's over to you, Bob Jar.
I couldn't get that out there. I've been nowhere all week. Everybody feels sorry for me. Oh, shit. Rangers have not made me feel any better. Well, I don't know. I mean, what you think. To me, last Saturday was a debacle. It was terrible. I want to sound out these Rangers fans. That was terrible what they did to Kieran Dow, by the way. That lad is representing Rangers on the park. A whole stadium of people, almost a whole stadium of people, didn't sit and boo him. That was grossly unfair, I thought. I'd like to get that off my chest for starters, but we're not playing well. And I didn't buy into the system of what Martin's trying to do, and I don't think the players are either. I think that's basically it. I don't think the players are getting this system either. Don't think they're happy with it. So,
I think there was a lot of things aimed at the manager when he was bringing in Doyle. I think some people felt as if they needed energy, and because we were down to 10 men, and Kieran Doyle, I don't know if even though he can cover the ground, he doesn't give you that. He's not that type of player who looks industrious. I think some of that.
I didn't disagree with his substitution. I thought the Rangers support were
two wrongs.
Sorry?
Two wrongs don't make it right. So
no, absolutely no, absolutely no. Yeah, but hey ho, I mean, on the plus side, we've negotiated 2 really difficult Champions League ties. They weren't easy ties. Panathinaikos were a good team. Not all yesterday. Well, they weren't the greatest team, but they were okay. They were good enough to give you a game. And that noise is my hearing aid battery going out. Don't worry about it.
Oh dear, that's the first.
All right, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, I mean, yesterday we got through the tie, and I'm happy to be playing against Club Brugge because there's a chance there. The media in this country will make Club Brugge out to be Real Madrid, and they're not. So I think the tie, if we play well, play to our strengths, that tie is winnable, and we can get into the Champions League. And if Russell Martin does that, fair play to him.
I think the thing about it is the negativity, and I'll use that word because I feel it as if it is AK. And the point that Bob just making, I think it comes through domestic results. Yeah. If we didn't get through these circumstances last night and done all right domestically, you wouldn't be having a lot of these conversations, would we?
No, it certainly masks the negativity and the criticism. We'll accept it a wee bit, but we'll not like it. But if we've got 2 wins on the board, then fine. But good evening to you, Bob. But Bruges are a good. Bruges are a good team. I mean, we'd a look at them in pre-season, and anybody that watched them last year in the Champions League, they did acquit themselves very well. They're a young team. They're fast. They zip it about. It's where we want to be as a team. That's the way we should be playing. You know, and the way Russell Martin's philosophy is. All this passing it about the back and all that, the philosophy's all there, but you need your players to buy into it, and they've got to be good enough to buy into it. You know, you watch a Man City or a Barcelona or Bayern Munich, it's years of drilling that into them, but they've also got a higher standard of player as well. But this slow, laborious passing between it, you're not going to move a back line doing that, you know, because they're just got to get in shape. I mean, I watched a wee snippet there before I come on. I don't know if any of you have seen it with Andy Halliday on open goal, and he was trying to explain it on the kind of blackboard. He's like, Dundee United sat 4-5-1 in their own half, and Rangers weren't just passing it quickly enough. So if the ball went out left, it says they would just shove 2 or 3 players along there, nullify that. But Rangers, as you've said, Ox, see if they intercept that ball, Rangers have got a massive hole in the middle of the park because Rothwell hasn't pushed up. He's still sitting deep, and then they can break easily on us. And that's just with us attacking them. If we're doing that in our half and they've pushed up, they're throwing goals and getting shots away. Is the stats tell you that? You know, the amount of shots on goal that we've conceded. We've not lost many goals, fortunately, because the standard of the team isn't as good. But the better standard of the team, like say a Bruges or that, they'll put us away and they'll punish us. And that's what we're fearful of. But if anybody's got a chance to have a look at it, watch the way Andy Halliday explains it. It's really good. But if he can see that, then other managers can see that. And that's how easy we are to nullify.
Albert?
That's totally right, mate. Totally right. I said before the season started, the way Martin was talking, and he could have shut up about what we were going to be doing. I'm saying to myself, do you think other teams in the league other managers in the league are no listening to this? Do you think for a minute they're all sitting going, all right, they're going to outrun us, they're going to outfight us, they're going to play this possession-based football? All right. Do you not think they've got a plan? I say he's leading into Southside. I say with the Motherwell game. I says I was talking about weeks before the game. I says they're lying in wait for us. They've got a plan for us. I says, and the trouble is we can't shut up. We can't stop telling everybody what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing it and what this is for and what's that's for. I say, then turns up we get third part, and what happens? They've got a plan for us, executed brilliantly. It was actually our plan. They played better. They played our system better than we played it. And they could have won the game easily, mate. They outfought us, outran us, outsprinted us, won every 50-50 ball nearly. And some 60, most 60 to 40 balls as well. So you're sitting saying to yourself, there you are, and then Dundee come, they've got a different plan. They're just going to sit deep. And this is we're going to outrun you, we're going to outfight you. We've got a plan. No. And as you go along these league games, every team's the same. Because we just blab too much. We just tell everybody, oh, we've got plan A and we're sticking to plan A. We're not going to change. That's the disaster, mate. That in itself is a disaster. Because you're just getting the team like Dundee, who didn't have any games during the week, to play, to set up all week and practice and wait for us. And that's what's been happening. It happened with Clermont as well. They all just, so-and-so's going to play there. They're going to play this. They're going to move the ball to there. They know exactly what we're going to do, and they sit and wait for us to do it. And then we all sit and go, how can we not get through here? How can we know? How do they play better than us or are more dangerous than us? That's why, because they know exactly what you're going to be doing. There is no variation for the plan.
Interesting. Davy.
Aye, fair points, guys. But I've always maintained that we're talking about, we've got at least 4 players that are regulars there now who shouldn't be in that team at the moment. And until we can replace them with the quality we need to play that system, nothing's going to change. That's what I'm saying. We're going to bite the bullet on this because they can't play that system. So what do? You've got to bring in decent players, and we've not got them there now. But hopefully that will come.
Yeah. Bob Joe.
I agree with you, Davey. I don't think the quality's there now for a player system like that. We should just be Rangers at Ibrox. Just get help or leather and just go for them. Because we're all coming that they're all going to do every week. And all bear, you're exactly right. They came what we're going to do every week, and they can buy into it. We can't. You didn't forget that this league is full of young, promising managers now. You know, the Hearts are doing well, St Mirren are doing well. I don't need to tell you. These are the supporters of the league, the same as well. Supporters of Rangers, the same as me. And we're just it's been the same season after season. We're battering away at these teams and can't break them down convincingly. Aye, you can beat them, but no beating them convincingly like we used to. And that's what wins you leagues. That other lot, they seem to do it and they bother. I don't know what the answer is. There's too many questions at the moment. And not enough production. The only plus side is that we are in the final qualifying round of the Champions League. And domestically so far, it's been a disaster. And it's got to get better. Either that, these people are not here to fail. These people are here to succeed. And it might end up with a bit, and I don't want to tempt fate here because they can't keep changing managers, but in the not too distant future, it might cost Mr. Martin his job. You never know. That must get better.
All right. Just because we've still got wee Al on the call when we mentioned one of the most famous players. And I don't mean he was a famous Ranger, but because of what he done, scored the winning goal in the European Cup. I think he played. I think he got quite a lot of caps for England. First £1 million footballer. You know, he was well known in world football. What Ranger would be the biggest known player in world football then? Interesting. What you thinking, Albert?
What about?
What player that we've watched or we've seen or was part of our history was maybe the biggest known world player?
Gascoigne.
I get that. Gascoigne would be up there. But was he just maybe Britain and Italy? Or was he... What you thinking? What you thinking, AK?
I said Gaza as well, off the top of my head. But Fox came up with a good one. Canadian.
Wow.
Would be Argentina World Cup final.
World Cups. Napoli. Did he play with Napoli with Maradona? Did he go there or not? Check that out.
Atalanta was it? No.
Amato? What are you talking about?
Atalanta, he said.
Atalanta, he came through, didn't he? Oh, sorry, Bob, I never caught you there. What about you, Davey? You're a certain vintage. Who would you go for?
Origin Pearson.
Christ, aye.
That big Ant-Man. I heard the guy saying that Ant-Man reminds him of Pearson.
Oh, wait a minute. Just get Mr. Fox to go and mute there, please, Mr. Fox, before we bring you in. On you go. Albert.
I was saying to Davey there's a guy sitting next to me, he says that Ant-Man reminds him of Origin Pearson. He's a great player.
Was a good player. Aye.
Way before my time, AK, you might have seen him.
He had a habit of scoring spectacular goals.
Scored one near enough to the halfway line at Ibrox.
John Baxter.
Baxter would have been a big name, mate, but obviously the games with the big name in Britain, but you know, European football he wasn't even to the fore. It was starting and getting bigger and bigger at Baxter's. Maybe 64, arguably the peak of his powers. He was. Yeah, obviously European football was about, but it was in its infancy. And the TV wasn't the same. But aye, they'd be up there, these guys. But the telly's maybe moved guys on, you know. Maybe the one we talked about earlier on, you mentioned Gattuso, mate. You know, World Cup winner, European winner, you know. But aye, I can't get away from Canadja. Aye.
Souness won 3 European Cups.
Big name, mate. Big name. Aye. Big name, man. Aye.
He was one you maybe know think Stefan Givars. He was a World Cup winner.
Played in the squad with in France '98. Yeah. Did he score 5 against the Johnson?
Aye, he did. Aye.
Big name. Aye. Guess when we digressed. I've got maybe we should leap the rank team, AK. Give ourselves a fighting chance, a double bluff.
Aye. Hey, here another one. Maybe we should give the opposition the ball and let them come on to us.
That's what I say.
Mate,
that's what I say, mate. I'm serious about that.
They would just kick it back to us and start, mate.
A good 0-0 then, eh?
Oh, mate, I know. I just digressed a bit. Are you still with us there? Who's the biggest icon, maybe worldwide?
Yeah, still here, still listening. I was thinking Gaza.
It's hard to
I don't know if you.
Yeah. I mean, the publicity and the story and what happened to him after that World Cup in '90, aye. And then 4 years later, he signed for us. Aye, I get that. And it excited me when he came in. What about Gerrard as a manager? Would he still be up there, an icon of world football? Would that be fair, Albert?
Aye. He never played for us, right enough, but as manager, aye. Definitely. Not even advocate. But manager's different, isn't it? It's who played for us.
Aye.
Yeah, Gerrard's a big one. I remember being in California and seeing his massive billboards of Gerrard all the way down LA Main Street and stuff like that. So he was a big name when he signed for LA Galaxy. I can remember that. You know, all those billboards.
Right.
I remember seeing his poster all on the Govan Road. What are we doing to the Clyde? What are we doing to the Clyde?
Then a man scored five goals in a World Cup tie. I think that record still stands to the day. Is it no?
Who's that?
Oleg Salenko.
We signed him after the '94 World Cup, mate. He came in. We never really seen a lot of him at Ibrox, yeah?
No, I never set the header with fire, did he?
No, we never seen a lot of him, you know. Anyway, Bob, do you have a reached that time of the evening? Good to hear from you. Always last word for you.
It's great to be here, lads, and thank you. And I'll leave up on holiday this weekend, so I'll call next week.
Cheers, mate.
And Rangers are playing my hometown on Saturday, and I think we can do it.
Cheers, Bob, yeah.
Thanks a lot.
That me.
You're old,
Any old Davies is on here.
All right, we need to change it all back to ancient Davy.
No, I'd just like to thank Lee Al for his nice comments, what he said about me. And it's a great show. It's the best show in town. And I've met a lot of you guys, and you're all top men. And keep believing, guys. That's all we can do at the moment. So I'm quietly confident. So good night, and thanks very much. And God bless the Gers.
Hi, we are.
Yeah, thanks, Alex, Jeff, for taking the call. It's nice to be on with everybody and hear from everybody and all the legends that are on tonight. And I'm hoping, hopefully I wasn't coming across too negative. I'm hoping Martin can turn it around and starts on Saturday. That is actually, as Bruce says, that is the biggest game. I think we just have to get in the faces. That's the one thing I'm scared about. The players they're not rough and tumble. You have to get in the faces, And I've seen teams like Real Madrid keep the ball for 10 minutes, but they're always trying to break lines. They're always pushing the ball forward. But I think if we have to change it, and I want to see that on Saturday. I want to see people being more aggressive, and that's what he promised us, and I just hope we see it. Thanks again, guys. Talk to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Great to hear from you, Real. AK.
Well, thanks again. Good show tonight. Good discussions. Callers coming in there. Looking forward to Saturday now, pal. And the one I'm really looking forward to is Asgard. I hope that wee guy can hit the ground running. He's some player, man. That he could be the difference. Looking forward to it. Thanks again.
Where he'll play?
Well, for Wigan, he played wide right, and he cut in a lot on his left foot. But with us already having kind of Gasman and Ant-Man, or Gassama and Ant-Man, he might be playing one of the inverted roles in front of the Raskin or that maybe. You might see the likes of Diamondi drop out of team. That's who I would take out of team. But thanks again for the show.
Cheers, mate. Albert.
Aye, a good therapy session tonight, mate. Enjoyed that. I feel a lot better now.
You got a lot off your chest, didn't you?
Oh, aye. I've not took any tablets, so that's a good sign. I don't think I'll be sleeping much tonight because I'll have to go out in my head the tactics for Alloa. This mighty football team, Alloa, because we've got a big game coming up. But I enjoyed it, mate. Enjoyed your company. Enjoyed AK as well and all the callers. Superb, mate.
Yeah, thanks to your good self, Albert, of course, AK. We are for Australia, we're Davey, and of course the one and only Bob here. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.